Christmas Eve, I made a pecan pie from the Joy of Cooking app on my iPhone. My dearly departed wife termed it the Joy. Cockroaches infested the white volume she left behind. Each Nevada night, the temperature dipped below the 32 degrees at which water freezes. I prayed for the roaches that drove me out of Hollywood to freeze to death in that storage unit. I've refused thus far to throw the Joy out with the rest of our cookbooks, as my mother wanted me to. I know when I empty that storage unit into the house, I probably will have to. This app was recipe salvation. Corn syrup, brown sugar, eggs and pecans caramelized, then burned together in a paleo almond flour crust. Next up, as traditional, I made pomegranate chicken. It was a Christmas Eve tradition my wife and I started when we drove up to Reno in 2010. The Williams-Sonoma New Flavors for Chicken was like the Joy destined for cockroach cookbook heaven. A JPEG of the recipe was salvaged from the depths of my laptop's hard drive. I reduced the pomegranate juice and brown sugar in a pan. My mother uncorked and measured the Merlot. I won't even touch alcohol anymore in my hard-won sobriety. We feasted that Christmas on succulent glazed roast chicken dazzled with pomegranate seeds, green beans with slivered almonds, mixed greens with canned black olives and balsamic vinegar. Grandma ate severally as she preferred in front of the Colo 8 evening news. At the table, we gave each other permission to pick the legs up to suck meat from the bones. Post-dinner, I rushed to make the key lime pie. Mom requested 2 pies. I drafted her introducing 10 lines with an ingenious old device we found in the drawer of Grandma's. Ding dong, the whisk is dead, sang my mother. Grandma's ancient whisk collapsed into a pile of wires under the pressure of condensed milk, egg yolks, lime juice, and zest. Well, it's not Christmas Eve until someone has to go out and get more eggnog. My father put on his down vest, went out into the night. We returned much later. Said the AM/PM he went to on his 4th try was the only thing open. 2 quarts of eggnog in a black plastic sack sat on the retro red chrome table. My father told us a Christmas story. As he walked to his car on the 14-degree street, a homeless vet followed him, asked for a buck. Because it's Christmas Eve, here's just $1 bill. The vet stood outside of his car window and cried. Dad touched his hand, drove back to the warm house. I forced back tears at the story, explained the male privilege that allowed this interaction. My parents poured brandy into their eggnog. The editor of now defunct literary magazine Queer Mental Health Facebook chatted me late Christmas Eve. This Canadian website I wrote for a long time had been in a long technical difficulty hiatus before it finally went disappeared. After 5 years of the passion project, the editor had lost motivation amid the pressures of college. I agreed in the bonhomie of Christmas Eve to be another editor as she asked for the second time. Solitary, occasional, online, literary volunteer work, I hope I was able to do within the confines of my disability. It turns out I did nothing and nothing happened and it went offline. My first task, though, was editing the essay I submitted back in June 2016. Time-sensitive journalism on intersectional, which I did not understand, queer mental health issues brought out by the Orlando nightclub shooting. 2 hours of attempted rewrites later, my essay was outdated and unsalvageable. At 2 a.m., I began a different essay called Subvocal Speech of a Schizoaffective on Christmas Morning. I wrote the meta essay within an essay CalArts warned me about. Save queer mental health? Save Christmas? What else will your savior complex do? The voice in my head that I write about says when I listen to it. Would it be nice if you could save yourself from all the other looming imminent disasters? At least you and your uncle made all those ravioli the other day. When you didn't sleep. Again. It's a Christmas miracle. I believe in miracles. Choked back tears at Dolly Parton's Christmas in Benny Color's Circle of Love on NBC. Saccharin schmaltz descends at 5 a.m. Christmas morning. I anticipate blundering my way in burgundy velvet through the yawning day ahead. Awkwardly endearing family togetherness I feel totally up for. This should be interesting. Slow down, just the voice in my head. You've got to pace this so you submit your essay right at dawn. Well, that's fucking hilarious. Seriously. Didn't you just have fun tonight, saving something else? You saved yourself the humiliation of submitting that Orlando essay. That shit was terrible. So's this, but at least there's more timeline. Are you fucking seriously doing this? Are we glad the aliens, our nurse Ratchet, haven't taken the technology away yet? Try not to end up in the psych ward without your phone or the internet any more times. I'm working on it, day by day. I heard the first thump upstairs that told me the family I must celebrate this holiday with were rousing them for obligatory, yet enjoyable rituals. At 6 a.m. I heard a toilet flush. I took 4 pills for my illnesses because I must. All things considered, it's the best case scenario, said the voice in my head. I'm schizophrenic, I was name. I rationalize scientifically in text that is only loudly articulated inner monologue on my vocal cords, moving, while my mouth does not. My faulty schizoaffective synapses can't differentiate both voices are produced by the same brain, just different parts of it. All in my head, I suppose you could say, though. Pardon that. I washed down the morning's Prozac, Klonopin, and Trileptal. I heard, in my mind, control your enthusiasm. If you weren't so endlessly entertained by your own psychosis, there might be some hope for you. Alright, wrap it up. Try not to fuck up your last chance, or Christmas Day. Like so many things the voices of schizophrenics said, it could be interpreted as a threat. I hoped with the audacious hope of Obama or mistletoe that, as RuPaul said, I didn't fuck it up. Don't we specialize in the ominous, the voice taunted. I wrote until dawn and pressed private publish on the criminal health WordPress the editor gave me permission for, hoping against hope to have done something right. I hadn't. I never heard from criminal health again, and then they disappeared. I broke for meditation, yoga, a shower, pulled on sparkly tights, an American Apparel long-sleeved ice skater dress. A black velvet jacket concealed my Under Armour sports bra, crossing woven lattice across the velvet jacket's plunge back. Family in the front, party in the back. In the kitchen upstairs, I told my mother why I left AA. Dad and Grandma slept in while the ladies made breakfast and chocolate chip cookies. It was a Christmas of adults, clearly. At 40, I was the youngest. As Christmas elf, I passed out the parcels. Grandma only realized it was Christmas when we started to hand her gift bags. Her shock unnerved us all to the core. Right before I opened my presents, I realized, with devastating clarity, that Grandma might not live until I moved out. I unwrapped my gifts. For my Aunt Carol, a psychic tarot oracle deck, black fingerless lace-trimmed gloves I wear constantly in its frigid months to follow. For my Uncle Jim and Auntie Ruthie, an elf nail polish set as I ran out of the polish I brought from Los Angeles. EO's lip balm for my newly Sierra Dry lips. A Target gift card I spent on coffee and cat food. For my parents, a vacuum cleaner. Makeup. A Birchbox good as gold gift box. Toe-in yoga socks with lotus flowers on the bottoms. I loved the gray merino snood, even though I lost it immediately afterwards. Couldn't wear it outside as it looked exactly like a hijab would pulled over my head. I was so afraid of hate crimes in Trump's new Republican Nevada. I tweeted, embracing the spirit of Christmas. Family, passive-aggressive life passages, pathos surrounded by abundance. We're coping. It seems offensive not to at least pretend to enjoy my gifts, so I try. I polished my nails blood maroon to match my dress. Explained to my father at length how to read tarot, which I too seems bored. I am determined to act cheerful. I offer my family eggnog to wash down the elephant of death. What do I do if Grandma dies in the next month while I'm still living here? I began the conversation with my father right before we left for further gritted teeth robbery. Not even the necessary nudes of the MAC palette I swiped on my lips could assuage my terror at this Yuletide revelation. My interim internment in my boyless world had numbed me to how gradually yet relentlessly she was fading. I tweeted, But when is it not an especially heavy Christmas? Grandma slowly filled out cards and checks for her descendants. I put the cash from the envelope she gave me straight into my apocalypse survival fund. No peppermill this year. There was an impending apocalypse to endure. Mom was sick with impatience and concern when her mother was still not ready at 6 p.m. Finally, we hustled into the minivan to drive to Christmas dinner. I hugged my curly-haired, black-clad Aunt Ruthie first thing in the door. "I'm so sorry for your loss," I said. "It's your loss, too," my aunt says. Gave me permission to grieve the uncle-in-law I had adopted. 16 assorted family and an odd orphan assembled around a blessedly placed-carded table. 8 raw prime rib with wine leaf sauce. Overcooked ravioli welded together in a savory bourguignon mash. Mixed green with avocados, onions, and Dijon vinaigrette. Kale, apples, and onions fried in bacon fat by Cousin Lauren and her fiancé. After dinner, I watched Lauren cry over her uncle as we talked about her upcoming wedding. Buy her wine glass a crystal plate of noni cookies, Mexican wedding cakes, and chocolate chip cookies. I comforted myself with slices of pecan and key lime pie dappled with whipped cream. I am so loaded with grief that the pie is like a punch in the gut.